Hey you guys, today we're going to be looking at Phoenix's abilities that Clive uses in Final Fantasy XVI. Welcome to my breakdown series, Final Fantasy XVI's Eikonic style system. Phoenix Shift is your main ability and acts as a gap closer, teleporting Clive towards an enemy for a quick attack. This works on the ground and in the air, so it'll be a great ability to close the distance or potentially lock onto another enemy and teleport away from an incoming attack. Pretty simple and effective. There's also this takedown associated with Phoenix Shift, though it may more likely be triggered by attacking a downed enemy, rather than just being connected to Phoenix Shift itself. Regardless, I did notice that early takedowns are a simple stab, but it seems to upgrade to a fiery blast at later points in the game. Rising Flames is an uppercut attack that launches enemies up into the air with a single Phoenix wing. It may also work as a good counterattack or block ability if timed correctly. Doesn't have a ton of range, but seems to pack quite a punch if the camera work is any indication of its power. The description does say it only will launch lighter enemies up into the air and doesn't point out any blocking or counterattack capabilities. Since Heat Wave is right next to this, let's look at that next. This has Clive summoning a wall of liquid flame with his Phoenix Wing that actually dispels incoming projectiles. He then follows up with shockwaves. The base attack seems to launch 4 attacks, though you are not locked into this attack as you can dodge out whenever. The description also indicates that the shockwaves will be amplified after dispelling magic. Scarlet Cyclone is an AoE ability having Clive summoning both wings and dragging enemies in before he twists upwards and blasts enemies away. Another simple but effective ability that is good for clearing out enemies around you and making some space to recover. Flames of Rebirth seems like the hard hitter of this icon. Clive summons both wings and blasts fire out in all directions. After a second, Clive covers himself with the wings and continues this onslaught. This does pretty decent damage. You can see that compared to like the attacks that Clive was doing before, that it's really not that much more damage that he's putting out. So this may be effective against bosses, but it's probably more effective against mob type enemies. And that's all I've seen so far for Phoenix's attacks and abilities. This icon to me feels like a really like all around kind of balanced icon. It doesn't seem to be like, you know, focused on a specific style of gameplay like the other ones we've seen, where like Ramuh is more built towards crowd control but staying away from enemies and attacking from afar, or like Titan, which is more so blocking and counterattacking, or Gerudo, which is a very fast-paced style. Phoenix seems almost like a good icon to have to switch between icons, if that makes sense, of like, this is great if you do an attack that launches an enemy, you switch to Phoenix, you know, use Phoenix Shift, get closer, and then switch to a harder hitting icon. So it's like almost like a link between combos, it feels like. So in my opinion, all around pretty good combats, as well as like a combo linker style. Anyways, hope you've enjoyed this deep dive on the iconic battle system of Final Fantasy XVI. If you want to see more, leave a like or drop a comment. That really helps me out with the algorithm. If you enjoy this, I've done a ton of content over on Kingdom Hearts, so click the cards on screen to see that. A huge thank you to my patrons and channel members. If you enjoy this and you want to throw me some support, you can throw me $1 over on YouTube. Become a member, get some nice emotes and a badge beside your name. Really helps me out. Also, I've started a Final Fantasy XIV channel if you want to check that out. I decided I wanted to keep all my Final Fantasy XIV hyperfixations just to one channel. Anyway, see you in the next video.